maybe. Yes, if you want. Yes. Ja. Ja, vet du. Okay, I have more like this in Spain.
Amir is here.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear sisters and brothers all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A special welcome to all of the graduates who are receiving awards this afternoon. I know that some of you have reached here on time, and we are a bit behind time, so I don't want to delay any further. We will begin this program with an opening dua, and this will be rendered by Zakir Mohammed.
Assalamualaikum. Dua. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal-'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus solihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Amen.
Thank you very much, Zakir, who is one of the SEA graduates this afternoon. My dear sisters and brothers, the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago is pleased to welcome you to this event, which is catered for persons who have been successful in all of the different levels of education throughout the hierarchy of of levels of education in Trinidad and Tobago. And this is something that we have always had, going back to the 2000s, where we would always seek to recognize those who have been successful in their SEA exams, CSEC O levels. What was prior to the CAPE was the Cambridge A levels. Now we have the CAPE. Then we have tertiary level graduates, bachelor's degree, master's, and beyond that. And we also have special recognition for those who have been successful in vocational pursuits. So, my dear sisters and brothers, this is one of those events in which we would want to take a moment to recognize those who have given their efforts who have made. I'm sorry. This is a event by which we would recognize those who have made great efforts in their secular education, and we hope and pray that they will continue on and be successful in their endeavors and in their careers. So we have not had this function for a number of years, so we will be recognizing those who have been successful in the academic years to 2022, 2023, and 2024. We will firstly, before we get into the program, we would like to have firstly a recitation from the Holy Quran, and this will be done by Nafis Baksh.
السلام عليكم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا وقمرا منيرا وهو الذي جعل الليل والنهار خلفة لمن أراد أن يذكر أو أراد شكورا وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما والذين إذا أنفقوا لم يسرفوا ولم يقتروا وكان بين ذلك قواما والذين لا يدعون مع الله إلها آخر ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون ومن يفعل ذلك يلقى أثاما يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه مهانا يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه مهانا آمين.
you very much, Nafis, for that beautiful recitation. We will now have a feature address, and this will be delivered by a long-standing member of the Anjuman, Mr. Anis Rahman. Just to give you a brief profile, Anis would have attended the QRC, the Queen's Royal College, for his secondary education, after which he would have pursued a Bachelor of Laws with the University of London. Thereafter, he pursued the legal practice course at the University of Wolverhampton in England. He also holds an MBA from the Arthur Lockjack School of Business, and also he holds a Master of Laws in Corporate and Commercial Governance from the University of the West Indies. In his professional capacity, he has been called to the Bar of Trinidad and Tobago since 2006, and he has served in several capacities as corporate secretaries in different agencies of government, and currently he is the corporate secretary of the National Training Agency. So he is quite a very accomplished individual. He is married with one child, and he is very much, he is a recipient of many awards in past events such as this. So it is my pleasure to bring to the podium Mr. Anis Rahman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. If you all are wondering about the resemblance between us, that's my younger brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, graduates, it gives me great pleasure to be here this afternoon to address you. I must confess that when I was asked to be the feature speaker, I was taken back a little bit. In my mind, I said to myself, but that's something we ask older, more accomplished people to do. And then I was told that I am older and an older person. Because as Arif would have said, I can vividly remember sitting right where you all are, around your age, receiving commendations and awards like the other persons, when the Anjuman was recognizing the educational achievements of the younger persons within the Anjuman. So it's a little bit of a surprise to me. So I'm just saying that because I want you all to know that in no time you all are going to be here where I am, right? So that's something I want you all to keep in the back of your mind. So my talk today is not going to be too long. I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what it's going to be about. It's going to give you a little talk about the value of education, different types of education, the role of education in workforce development, where you all will eventually want to go, the future of education, and Islam and education, in terms of the intersection with Islam and education and how they support one another. So, as I stand before you, I want you to understand the value of education. It is not just a way to acquire knowledge, but it is a pathway to shaping your minds, building and refining your character, and building a future filled with opportunities. As young Muslims, young persons, you all are blessed to be in a religion that promotes education. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized the importance of seeking education, where he has said that seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. Indeed, the revelation, the first revelation that the Prophet received was the word Iqra, which meant read. And as it would go, the Prophet said that he could not read, and the command was given again to read, and he began to read. If we look at the definition of education, see that the dictionary definition says a set of instructions that is received by persons, and then if you follow them by rote, you call that education. But if you go back and you look at the etymology, which is the history of the word education, it really means to bring out, which presupposes that you all have latent ability, and the education, the process of education is meant to bring that out. A lot of young persons, and even older persons, say to themselves, we don't know exactly what we should be pursuing. We don't know what career paths we should pursue. We're confused about that. We like this, we like that, etc. Or we don't like this, we don't like that. So I want to tell you that you're at that age now where you can explore different things, explore different subjects, do a little bit more research and reading. And one thing that we've found is that what the research tells us is that play to your strengths. If you find that you are good in something, stick to that, develop yourself in that. It doesn't mean to necessarily not develop yourself in other areas, but that's the path that you will be most motivated and most disciplined to follow. So when we speak about different types of education, well, we know there is academic education and there is something called TVET education. TVET stands for Technical and Vocational Education and Training. Academic education forms the foundation of our understanding of the world. It equips you with essential skills such as reading, writing, mathematics, critical thinking skills. These subjects are crucial for navigating life and preparing you for your career. When you learn things like science, history, languages, you're not just memorizing facts. You are developing the ability to question, analyze, and innovate. Imagine becoming an accountant, a nurse, an engineer. These are professions that require a strong academic background. There is something called TVET now. This is the other mainstream of education. This type of education focuses on practical skills and training for specific trades and profession. In today's world, skilled workers are in high demand. Whether it's fields like carpentry, plumbing, information technology, hospitality, vocational training can open the doors to numerous pathways. I remember when we had some European counterparts come down to Trinidad to assist us in our development of TVET delivery. For when COVID was happening, we needed to improve upon the way that we do delivery, because you remember during COVID, you couldn't have face-to-face contact, so we had to develop modalities for online training, etc. We had some persons from the European Union come to Trinidad to assist with that development. And they were talking about something called parity of esteem, whereby they were saying that, you still have somewhat of a colonial mindset. I don't want to get too politically involved in it, but something of a colonial mindset where you say that academic education is placed at a higher level and more prestigious than technical and vocational education. And persons within the European Union, they were saying, in European countries and Scandinavian countries, first world countries, they said there is no difference really between persons who pursue academic and persons who pursue TVET type education. There is none. Parity of esteem means that they're equal footing. So don't think of yourself as second rate if it is that you get into one of those trades, plumbing, carpentry, and so on. Once you can develop yourself and you do the best that you can, be the best plumber that you can, be the best hairdresser that you can, be the best carpenter that you can. I can tell you, building my house now, when we're looking for people to do some furniture and so on, and the furniture is quite expensive. So it's not as if you're going to be placed in the back because you do TVET education. So that's one thing we wanted to emphasize. Remember I told you, education is not only about personal development, it's also about workforce development. In the workforce, you can enter the workforce into two ways: entrepreneurs or as an employee. Whether it's a high-level, junior-level employee, or whether it's an entrepreneur in terms of having your own small business or growing your business into a big business. Education prepares you for that, both aspects. given the age group that we're looking at here, I also thought it fit to give you a little bit of study tips. It's not the most exciting thing, but they say that these life hacks. So picture this. In terms of studying, there's some research that was done. So when you as students going to do your research, and you sit down and you allocate some time that you're going to do your studies, your homework, your lessons, and so on, researchers found that when you start to study, your attention span is very high, is at the highest. And then as time goes by, it drops. Two things. They realized that if you don't have a definite time to end, it just keeps dropping. If you had a definite time to end, but it's a long span, let's say 3 or 4 hours, it starts high, it drops, continues, and when it's time to end your study session, your attention span goes back up. So what they found was that it's better if you can make your study sessions smaller. 20, 25 minutes, half an hour. Take a little break and then start again. That way, your attention span remains higher throughout that period, rather than if you just have a long study session, right? The second part of that is, as Muslims, when we're fasting, when you're going to read namaz, you have something called niyat, or your intention. I found that the research said also that when students make an intention or make a small plan of what they are going to do during their study sessions, it improves the study session and you get more benefit out of the study session when you do something like that. So I found that was quite amazing that you can take examples from Islam, how you live your daily life in Islam, to apply those techniques for studying, and it's more beneficial to you. We also when I was saying that you want to break it up into like 20-25 minute sessions, not that you're only going to do 20-25 minutes. We also have to take into account something called delayed gratification, which is a concept that is sort of lost, is being lost in today's fast-paced, media-driven world, where you always have to have a new form of stimulation. Delayed gratification means that you're going to spend time on something that is going to benefit you a lot more later on in life, rather than spending time on doing something that will not benefit you as much. So you have to be able to pursue things, not just when I say because you've learned a hack of how to do things in a shorter space of time. You still have to understand how to devote enough time to your pursuits of what you want to do. Why does education matter? Empowerment. Educational empowerment allows you to make informed decisions about your life and your future. It allows you to stand up for your rights and the rights of others. Many of you know what's going on in Palestine and how the world is reacting to it. And as Muslims and educated Muslims, you can formulate responses when you're speaking to your friends, when you're speaking to your peers, when you're speaking to persons who are giving you misinformation about certain things. Character building. It cultivates discipline, perseverance, and a strong work ethic. These qualities are essential for personal and professional success. There is an entrepreneur called Warren Buffett. Not sure how much of you know him, but he's one of the richest men in the world. And how is he rich? He buys companies and invests in companies and allows the persons who run those companies to keep running those companies, and he takes the profits from them. He's quoted as having said, "You cannot make a good deal with a bad person." This is also where your faith, Islamic faith, will come in. Being part of a Jamaat, going to Maktab, coming to Friday Jummah, understanding that you're part of something bigger than just yourself, that you're part of a community, that people depend on you, that you're an ambassador of Islam. People look at your character and your content and how you carry about yourself. They may not read the Quran. Non-Muslims don't read the Quran, but they will read you. So you have to understand how you carry about yourself is a reflection on Islam itself. Community contribution. With education, you can contribute to the society. Your knowledge and skills can help solve problems and improve lives. When I was growing up, when I was younger, we did not have as much exposure now to what you call climate change. You all are now going to be going into the future and having to solve problems that you all did not create. You're going to have to solve problems that we created, but we're not going to be around. And the only way that you can successfully manage that is by education. And the world needs an educated populace. It's not sufficient to have just a small portion of your population educated. You need to have a wider cross-section. Future of education. Arif would have read out some of the qualifications that I had. I was kind of stunned myself when he was reading it out. I didn't consider myself very bright, but diligence beats brightness all of the time. So don't worry if you think that you're not as smart as that smart person in class. Once you're diligent and you're disciplined and you do your work, you're going to be just as successful as anyone else. Right, the point of the future of education. The future of education now is continuous learning. So you'll go and you'll get your degree, you'll go and you get your TVET qualifications, your CVQ, Caribbean vocational qualifications, etc. And at some point in time, you'll get into the work profession, whether as an entrepreneur, as an employee. But you're going to have to continue to develop your skills. So we're now developing a lot of seminars, short courses, workshops, and so on. And this applies to both TVET and academics. The world is changing. The delivery of education is changing. A lot of persons are pursuing online courses with no direct supervision, but you take your matriculation examination at the end of it. Persons, and I understand as well that sometimes you may not necessarily face the same paths as everyone else, that you go from primary school to secondary school to tertiary education or TVET. You might have to, depending on your circumstances, you may have to work and study. Or depending on your circumstances, you may have to work and save up your money for a little while to go and study. But believe me, they said that if you think education is expensive, you don't know the cost of ignorance. So you have to persevere. Have to persevere. And I really want to commend the Anjuman for having these sessions and having these functions where they recognize the efforts of these young persons who are graduates and pursuing education. You all could have chosen not to pursue that and just get into the world of work and so on. But I always tell people, I always tell children who are, coming for advice and so on. In life, you're always going to have to work hard. You're always going to have to work hard. But with education, with sufficient education, you can reap more of the rewards of your hard work than if you don't. Right? So, in conclusion, my dear children, embrace the gift of education wholeheartedly. Listen to your teachers. Ask questions. Never stop learning. Whether you choose academic education or vocational training, remember that both paths can lead you to successful and fulfilling life. May Allah grant you the wisdom and determination to seek knowledge throughout your lives. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Anis, for that very enlightening talk. each of us, not only the graduates, would have gained something from it. And in appreciation of that, we would like the Ahmadiyya Anjuman would like to present you with a token, and this will be presented by the President, Ms. Farida Muhammad.
Brothers and sisters, all assalamu alaikum. I too am very happy to be here this afternoon to join in celebrating the achievements of our graduates. Congratulations to you all and best wishes, and also congratulations to the parents and your support systems. As our featured speaker, Anis said, he has also been recipient of these awards throughout the years as he pursued his career. And now it is like giving back, as it were. I know Roshni particularly wanted to have someone who received awards presenting today, and you have fulfilled that role. You have been sharing of your own knowledge through your own experiences to our graduates today, all the valuable advice. I don't want to go over what you have said, but you said to do what you're good at, also, whatever career you choose is valuable, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, as a niece, or a welder, or whatever you want. You're a valuable part of the community in whichever career you choose. Also, he gave you study tips. I know Ariana, my granddaughter, would accept those willingly, and also he taught about character building through also relating your Islamic way of life and how you carry about yourself, relax on the religion you belong to. And I think he said diligence beat brightness any day, and that is quite so. So continue to pursue. You don't have to be as bright as the other person, but work hard at what you want to do. Also, the world is changing, as you see, online and so on. Online studies, and also to persevere. So, Anis, for your valuable advice that you have given to the students, even to me, also, and to continue to work hard on your education and so on, continuous education as it were. And so, thank you so much on behalf of the executive and members of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam, Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago, the Education Awards team, headed by Roshni Ali, the graduates and their families, and all present. We want to express our deepest appreciation for your efforts today. May Almighty Allah reward you for your efforts and continue to bless you and your family richly. We look forward to you being part of future activities of the Anjuman. And now it's my pleasure to make a presentation to you as a token for your being our featured speaker today.
So this is an example of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman eating what they grow.
Thank you very much to our President for your remarks and for the token presented to our guest, our featured speaker. We will now have a song, and this will be delivered by Ms. Aliyah Kasi, who is one of the tertiary level graduates.
Brothers and sisters, all assalamu alaikum.
So the song I've chosen to sing today is La Piati because it is actually a prayer that is ideal for young people who are looking to develop themselves. So I'm going to say the translation first and you can join in me in praying, right? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My wish becomes a prayer when it reaches my lips. O God, make my life useful like that of a candle. May the darkness of the world be removed with my efforts and all places be brightened by my light. May my presence be a source of beauty to my homeland, as a flower is a source of beauty to the garden. O Lord, let my life be like the life of a moth, loves the lamp. May I be in love with the lamp of knowledge. May my duty be always to support the poor and to love the aggrieved and the weak. My God, protect me from the evil ways and guide me on the path which is the path of righteousness. Amen.
लपियाती है दुआ बनकी तमन्ना मेरी जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत ओ खुदाया मेरी दूर दुनिया का मेरे दम से अंधेरा हो जाए हर जगह मेरे चमकने से उजाला हो जाए ओ मेरे दम से यही मेरे वतन की ज़ीनत जिस तरह फूल से होती है चमन की ज़ीनत लब पे आती है दुआ बल्कि तमन्ना मेरी जिंदगी शम्म की सूरत ओ खुदाया मेरी.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Aliyah Kasi. We now come to the one of the major parts of the evening, and that is the presentation of the certificates, awards, and special awards to the graduates. And this will be conducted by the event coordinator, Mrs. Roshni Ali, Assistant Secretary of the Ahmadiyya.
Brothers and sisters, all assalamu alaikum. It is my pleasure to conduct this part of the program and call the names of our awardees here today who have all worked hard to complete this milestone in their lives. Parents, you are free to come up and take pictures, but we are kindly asking that you do not disrupt the flow of our graduates. Also, please feel free to applaud. They have done extremely well. Also, all relatives who will be collecting on behalf of any student, you will be called after. And I would ask the graduates to stand by row and proceed to the front over there. And I will ask Fahima to assist with the certificates. All right. To present these certificates, I would like to call on Mr. Farzan Ramjan, Vice President of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam. Okay, I will invite participants and graduates in row 1 to please stand, and you all will proceed. So SEA 2022, we have Fayad Ali from Fireburn Ahmadiyya Jamaat. You can leave the bags on each seat. Then we have Shamid Baksh of Fireburn Ahmadiyya Jamaat. Naila Lachman from the Kunjal Islamic Association. Moving on to SEA 2023, we have Amba Ali Perejo from the Saparia Jamaat. Zakir Mohammed from the Five Ahmadiyya Jamaat. Saria Mohammed from the Five Ahmadiyya Jamaat. SCA 2024, we have Damian Gopal from the Saparia Jamaat. Thank you, Uncle Farzan. To present the next set of certificates, I would like to call on Executive Member Dr. Orwell Seal to come forward, please. Okay, so we have some absenteeism. We have some students who are absent. So we will be starting with CSEC 2023, Amir Ali Perejo from Siparia Jamaat. Javaria Mohammed from the Kunjal Islamic Association. Moving on to CSEC 2024 and Riyad Mohammed from the Gasparillo Jamaat. Anderson Gopal from the Saparia Jamaat. Ariana Mohammed from the Five Ahmadiyya Jamaat. Alejandro Mohammed from the Aruka Islamic Association. Riyad Hussein from the Kunjal Islamic Association. Nazia Mohammed from the Kunjal Islamic Association. Raphael Chance from the New Grand Jamaat. And not forgetting Kareem Mohammed from the Kunjal Islamic Association. Thank you very much, Dr. Seal. To present the next set of certificates, and I would ask to remain for a little while, I would like to call the President of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam, Mrs. Farida Mohammed. Cape 2023, we have Raihan Bisessa from the Fireburn Ahmadiyya Jamaat. Cape 2024, we have Amelia Muhammad from the Fireburn Ahmadiyya Jamaat. And Ali Mohammed from the Kunjal Islamic Association. At the tertiary level, we have Alexandria Ali from the Kunjal Islamic Association receiving her diploma in automotive service technician. Next, we have Kafia Shah from the Gasparilla Jamaat with her Bachelor of Science degree in Psychology and a minor in Sociology. Followed by Aliyah Kasi from the Gasparilla Jamaat with a Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Technology. And then I have myself, Roshni Ali, representing Fireburn Ahmadiyya Jamaat and Kunjal Islamic Association with my postgraduate diploma in education. Okay, next we have under vocational for receiving his certificate in cuisine from the Caribbean Culinary Arts and Hospitality Institute, Mr. Raihan Bisessa from the Fireburn Ahmadiyya Jamaat. Now I will be calling for those persons who will be collecting on behalf of graduates who couldn't make it today due to some unforeseen circumstance or previous engagement. These are the persons who we receive names from. I will call their representative forward now. For SCA 2022 and SCA 2024, I have Jade and Josh Ramlal from the Kunjal Islamic Association, and I would ask their grandfather to collect on their behalf. For CSEC 2022, I have Irfan Mohammed from the Ari Village Muslim Association, and his mother Shamla Mohammed will collect on his behalf. For CSEC 2023, I have Elizabeth Prithvi Ali from the Kunjal Islamic Association, and I would ask her sister Alexandria Ali to collect on her behalf. At the tertiary level 2024 from the New Grand Jamaat, I have Samara Khan Mohammed and Nadeem Khan Mohammed, and I will ask their parents to collect on their behalf. At the tertiary level 2004, I have Adam Kassi from the Gasperlo Jamaat, and his sister Aliyah Kassi will collect on his behalf. And then lastly, I have Kabir Bisessa, the tertiary level 2024 from the Fibin Ahmadiyya Jamaat, and his dad will collect on his behalf. Tend to be going all over the place. For CSEC 2024, I have Samira Haidal from the Fibin Ahmadiyya Jamaat, and her dad will collect on her behalf. Now, the Anjuman recognizes the contribution of all of you. You all worked hard and achieved your goals. But we would like to make special recognition to some students who would have done exceptionally well in their field of study. So I will ask Mrs. Farida Mohammed to remain for these special awards. Awards of excellence goes to Ariana Mohammed from the Fibin Ahmadiyya Jamaat for cupping 8 ones at her CSEC level. Secondly, we have Alejandro Mohammed from the Aruka Islamic Association, also getting all ones at a CSEC level. Then I have Mr. Raid Mohammed from the Gasperlo Jamaat, and he placed first in the Caribbean in CSEC French examinations. Then I have Mr. Kabir Bisessa, who did his Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering with honors, and is currently on a scholarship pursuing his master's, and I would like to ask his father, Mr. Roger Bisessa, to collect on his behalf. Thank you, Mrs. Farida Mohammed. Before I go into this part of the program, I would just like to mention at this point that some of the names would have changed on the program based on attendance today. Okay, so if it's not corresponding to your program, it's because we changed it on the spot. The Anjuman also recognizes students and provides assistance to those who we think are deserving of it for the continuation of their studies. This year, the Anjuman partnered with its membership to honor the contributions of past members of the Anjuman. These two bursaries were sponsored by Ms. Camille Mohammed in honor of her parents, Mr. Hamid Mohammed and Satul Mohammed from the Ari Village Jamaat. Imam Hamid Mohammed, he was a dedicated member of the Ari Village Mosque and the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam. He was an AAII Muslim marriage officer. He served as the treasurer of the AII for many years. He was an advocate for education, always willing to make sure assistance was rendered to members of the Anjuman when they needed it. His wife, Satul Mohammed, having lived next door to the Ari Village Mosque, was the backbone of the mosque where refreshments were concerned. She supported her husband in all religious activities. Every executive meeting, members of the Anjuman were always treated with her delicious bara and chana. She was a caring person, looking after both her mother and mother-in-law simultaneously in their old age. She always hosted international guests during conventions and left lasting impressions. I would like to call one of their daughters, Shamala Mohammed. She grew up with her parents attending conventions from the very small age of 5 and is still an avid supporter of the Anjuman. So I would like to call on Shamala to distribute these two bursaries. The first bursary, which changed, right? The first bursary goes to Raphael Chance from the New Grand Jamaat. And the second bursary goes to Josh Ramlal from the Kunjal Islamic Association, but I will ask his grandfather to come and collect in his absence. Thank you very much, Shamala. And thank you for the sponsorship of the bursaries. Can I have a round of applause, please? The next bursary is sponsored by Nisa Rahman in honor of her parents, Haji Jalilul Rahman and Haji Batulan Betty Rahman. Uncle Billy, as I know him, was a dedicated member of the Sapariya Jamaat and the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam. He was a Muslim marriage officer. He served on the executive of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman for several years. He served as vice president, president, and religious head in the absence of Maulana M.K. Haider. He was a very knowledgeable person, upholding great morals and values. He was a teacher for 42 years and an advocate for education, always molding the minds of youths. His wife, Mrs. Batulan Betty Rahman, delivered many lectures in the mosque. She was a great singer, always propagating Islam through religious songs, kind-hearted, soft-spoken, well-respected. She always stood by her husband's side and supported him in everything. I would like to call on their daughter, Nisa Rahman, to present this honorary bursary to recipient Riyad Hussein. The next bursary was sponsored by Mrs. Salima Mohammed Seal in honor of her dad, Mr. Farouk Imran Mohammed. Mr. Farouk Mohammed held education in very high level, ensuring his children reached tertiary level. He was a school principal for most of his working years and became a school supervisor at the end of his professional career. He served on the executive of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman from the first election in 1975. 2 years later, he became vice president. With his vast knowledge of parliamentary practice and procedure, he was able to guide the newly formed Anjuman in the proper conduct of its affairs. Mr. Mohammed, being close friends with Minister Muriel Danoa McDavidson, was able to get her assistance to present our application for incorporation of the Anjuman to the Senate, which led to the Anjuman being incorporated as an Act of Parliament. He also assisted in composing the constitution of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago. As an example of his dedication to the Anjuman and recognizing that Maulana M.K. Haidal had dedicated his life to the propagation of Islam, Mr. Mohammed moved the motion to pay him a monthly stipend, which has continued as a pension up to date. Ahmadiyyat was very near and dear to his heart and continues in his offspring through their efforts, like offering this award. I would now like to call in front his daughter, Mrs. Salima Mohammed Seal, to present this bursary to Nazia Mohammed. Thank you, Salima. The next 4 awards come in the form of a grant, and these were sponsored by Mr. Shiraz Ali in honor of his mother, Mrs. Rasidan Ali. This is a special award promised to the Anjuman for the next 10 years, and hence it was given the name the Rasidan Ali Education Empowerment Grant. She was a dedicated member of the Kunjal Islamic Association and the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam. Give me 1 minute, please. She was a Muslim marriage officer. She supported all Anjuman events financially or otherwise. She can be known for her melodious voice in propagating Islam through messages of song. She was one of the main organizers of events in her Jamaat and in the AAII under the Anjuman's Women Association. She loved to cook and bake and welcomed everyone with open arms. She is always assisting others, even giving advice when needed. She was humble, caring, and amiable. She always visited the sick. She was an advocate for education, always reading, always writing, and encouraging others to do the same. Exactly 10 years ago, on the 3rd of November 2014, she was awarded at the Anjuman's annual luncheon under Women in Leadership. I would like to call on her granddaughter, Alexandria Ali, to present these vouchers. These vouchers are RIK book vouchers in the sum of $1,000. You can use it at any point in time, however, it expires in a year. It can definitely help with the purchase of school books for next September. Also, you do not need to use it all the time, all at one time. Recipients for the Rasidan Ali Education Empowerment Grant goes to Saria Mohammed, Damian Gopal, And before I even call the person, the other recipient, I would just like to say it was a very difficult task trying to select persons. And we went on a list, right? So in their absence, we are going to now, some of them did not come. And I am going to give it, and the committee made the decision. And I'm going to call Kareem Mohammed to collect one voucher. Thank you very much, Ishana. We'll hold on the other one for now. May Almighty Allah reward all of you and your families for your kind contributions and for letting the legacy of your parents live on. Graduates, so on to you. What is the next step? You have received a certificate, in some cases award, bursaries and grants. You have received a bag with little tokens. I believe there's a handband with an inspirational thought. There's a keychain with an inspirational thought. There's a little card with an inspirational thought. And a book, a notepad. Some of you all got notepads with inspirational thoughts, and some of you all have got regular notepads. There's also a pen inside there. So you all have a nice bag of goodies. Oh, don't forget, you have Post-its as well. Right? So you all have a really nice bag of goodies to go home with because we recognize your efforts. Your certificate today, what do you do with it? Please don't put it away and forget all about it. Get a folder and store your certificates. It matters when you are applying for particular programs at university level or even applying for jobs. Employers love to see that you have a sound religious background. It shows commitment and dedication. Please don't forget the Anjuman when you leave today. We are a functioning organization with activities throughout the year. We host religious events. We have maktabs, reading and understanding Quran classes. And we also have socializing events like sports days, chow competition, corridor competition, car rallies, even hikes. We would also like to do so much more, but we can do with your help. Our organization operates on volunteer services only, and we would be honored to see some of you up here in the future. All of us, Anis, Arif, Fahima, myself, would have all been just like you at some point in time in our lives, sitting in the same hall, maybe not the same, being recognized and awarded for our academic performance. Next year, we are celebrating our 50th year anniversary. And we are looking at hosting a local and international convention. We could do with some, if not all, of your expertise. So join our bandwagon and assist in the propagation of Islam. That is my plea to you. This ends my section of the program, and I now pass you back on to our very efficient and hardworking secretary and chair for today, Mr. Arif Rahman. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Roshni Ali, for your very efficient conduct of that presentation ceremony. And I'm sure that everyone who would have received the award would be very appreciative of that. And at this stage, we are coming close to the end, so I just wanted to call upon one of the graduates to deliver a valedictory address. And this is one of the individuals who would have done exceptionally well at CSEC, Mrs. Ariana Mohammed. My apologies. I was just checking to see if you all were paying attention. Miss Ariana Mohammed.
Shalom, everyone. It is a privilege today to stand before you as we celebrate the end of this chapter of our lives and continue on to the next. This ceremony marks a milestone, a time to reflect on what we have achieved and to look forward to what lies ahead. Today, we honor not just our outstanding accomplishments, but the perseverance and commitment that brought us to this point. We have all braved our share of challenges through our journey, whether it be sleepless nights, getting buffed by our parents for slacking off, or just those days stressing over the upcoming exams. Despite it all, we gave it our best. Our achievements are a testament to the long hours, the moments of doubt, and the sacrifices each of us and our families have made to reach here today. Success is never an accident. It is the result of dedication, passion, and an unwavering drive to excel. I know I personally drove my parents crazy in that regard. For the first 2 terms in Form 5, I didn't really hit the books and study every day like everyone else was doing. I revised my coursework the day before I had them, or sometimes even the moments before it started. But when the time leading up to exams approached, however, I made sure that I went through all that needed to be covered for my exams. Without that push of commitment to studying and hard work, I would not be able to stand here and say, it doesn't matter at what point in time you decide to reach for your goals. You can be successful as long as you are committed to achieving them. I'm not saying to wait until last minute to get everything done, but that it's never too late to start trying for something you want. Of course, not everything was perfect. We couldn't have reached this point without failure accompanying our success. I'm sure many of you here can attest to the days where we felt like we just couldn't make it. Days that made us doubt our abilities and where we nearly broke down under the stress. On days like this, especially, we turn to God. For me, He was instrumental in helping me through these times by giving me the strength and guidance to persevere. So I'd like to stress on this: prayer. If it's one thing you will take from this speech, it's that God will always have your back, even through those tough times. There's this one prayer my grandfather told me that I'd like to share with you now, since it really stuck with me through my exams. That is, Rabbi Zidni Ilma, Rabbi Zidni Ilma, Rabbi Zidni Ilma, meaning, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. For everyone present, let our accomplishments serve as an inspiration to remind us that with passion, persistence, and a clear vision, we can overcome obstacles and achieve remarkable things. Let us use this celebration to remind ourselves to push forward with purpose, no matter what challenges may come our way. We can do it. We have done it, and we will continue to thrive in everything we do onwards. Finally, I'd like to congratulate all of us who received awards today. Take today as a recognition and appreciation of our hard work and sacrifices. May this be the beginning of even greater achievements, and may we continue to inspire those around us through our journeys. Thank you to our parents, family, and friends who have been by our side and who are here now to celebrate our achievements with us. And thank you to Almighty Allah for allowing us to gather here today as we honor the outstanding achievements of the awardees this evening. Congratulations, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Ariana. I think your sentiments and your remarks would have been something that I'm sure each of the graduates feel in their hearts. It's now my task to move a vote of thanks for this afternoon. I would firstly like to make a special appreciation to the sponsors of the special awards, Ms. Salima Mohammed Seal, Ms. Nissa Rahman, AM Marketing, and Mr. Sharaz Ali. We would also like to pay tribute to the coordinators of this function, Mrs. Roshni Ali and Mrs. Fahima Haidal Ali, for their efforts in organizing this event. I would also like to recognize Mr. Jawad Haidal for being our IT professional. I forgot to mention at the start that this program is actually being broadcast on our YouTube channel. So for his efforts in designing the certificates and his all of the work in making sure that the broadcast was a success. I would also make sure we can't really name everyone, but everyone who would have contributed to the success of this program, to making the physical arrangements, the decorations, the caterers, everything that contributed to making this event a memorable and successful one. We would like to thank each and every one of you, and may Almighty Allah continue to guide and bless you. I just want to mention that if you look to your right, there's a table with books and pamphlets and other literature that are there for free distribution. So before you leave, I hope that you can take some of them with you. It is for free distribution. We will now have the closing remarks and the closing dua, and this will be done by the religious head and missionary of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago, Maulana M.K. Haider. I was just asked to indicate that there will be refreshments after the closing dua, and we ask that you stay in your seats and it will be delivered to you.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. I bear witness that without Allah there is no God, and I bear witness that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, is the final messenger of Allah, after whom no prophet, old or new, will come. And I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. My dear sisters and brothers all, and especially all of you young ones who have come, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of you. When Ariana made her remarks just a while ago, I identified with it because when I did my tertiary education in Pakistan over 55 years ago, one of the subjects that I had to take was logic, and I didn't study for it except the night before. There were 2 books I had to read, and I was in the mosque where I was staying to go to the examination the next day, and I asked Allah to guide me, and I read the first half of the first book, first half of the second book, and hoped and prayed that the questions will come from either of these sections. They did come, and I was in fact successful in that particular examination. Now, Anis, when he made his remarks, he mentioned a very significant personality, Warren Buffett, and told you how he acquired his wealth. I want to refer to another personality who didn't have wealth, but was one of the most significant, important, and well-known philanthropists in the world. The philanthropist is one who spends resources for the welfare of people. This particular individual built hospitals, he provided air ambulances in his country and in other parts of the world as well, but he was a poor man. It is said he had a little office, just a room, just behind his office, and he didn't have more than about 2 or 3 suits of clothing. He was a Muslim, and his name was Abdul Ghaffar Eidi, and he founded what was known as the Eidi Foundation that became well known all over the world. Now, people often think of philanthropists as people that have a lot of money. And if you were to either DuckDuckGo, Google, or whatever form you use to do search, AI or whatever it is, you can look up his name, And although he has passed away now, his wife and children are still carrying on that foundation. But you'll see how people who have talents within them, and we must realize that the value of ourselves is not only outside of us. We have more value inside of us than we have outside of us. And it is the value within us that can enhance the value that we have outside. So I want you to look at yourselves today as not merely children of your parents, children of your jamaats, children of your schools. You have been honored by the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago. And you are now children of the Anjuman, as Roshni has mentioned. We have recognized your efforts this far, but we have expectations that there is much more in you, and we will be happy not only to lead it out of you, but to utilize that. Not for our benefit or even for your benefit, but for the benefit of all, whoever they may be, wherever, in this part or any part of the world. So I just want to mention, first of all, that you will see on your certificates, you will see in the pens, you will see on the tokens that you have, the bags that you have, the name Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam. There are four words. And I'm sure you probably would like to know what it means. But first of all, before I tell you that, I would just like you to know how to pronounce these words. So I'll ask all of you together to repeat after me. Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam. They're just four words. They may seem to be long, they may seem to be a little difficult to write even in English. But Ahmadiyya stands for the Prophet Muhammad. As you know, it is mentioned in the Quran that one of his names was Ahmad. And Ahmadiyya means the one who pertains to Ahmad, one who relates to Ahmad, or anything related to Ahmad. So anything relating to the Prophet Muhammad is called Ahmadiyya. Secondly, the word Anjuman means an organization. The word Isha'at means to propagate, to promote, to pass on to others, to distribute knowledge, and anything that is good. And Islam, of course, means the propagation of Islam. So Isha'at Islam means the propagation of Islam. And Islam is not merely rituals or, it's ideas and concepts. How did we get this name Ahmadiyya? We know it is from the name of the Prophet Muhammad, but who founded the organization? You will see a photograph there of the gentleman, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And you will see some of the mission, why he founded this organization. And you will see a few other things about the organization and about the founder himself. You will be able to read the books and the pamphlets we have there that will give you a little more information about this. But I want to tell you that you as young people, and I'm speaking to those who are present and those who are absent, because those who are absent have their representatives, their parents, brothers, sisters, grandparents, as the case may be. And in the last sermon of the Prophet Muhammad, he said, those of you who are present, take this message to those who are absent. So let them know what this organization is all about. It has existed for 50 years, as Roshni has told you, in this particular format. Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam, incorporated by an Act of Parliament in Trinidad. It existed as an idea before and through different organizations, but that is a history which you'll learn later on. What is important is that next year we'll be celebrating, as was pointed out to you, our 50th anniversary, and we would want you to play a very important role, an important part in that celebration, in recognizing the worth and value of this organization. Now, what Mirza Ghulam Ahmad brought was an approach to Islam suited to the modern times. And you, as I said, will be moving on to a world that is already in turmoil. And you will have to know how to adjust yourselves and your concepts of Islam to fit into the modern world, not merely for your existence, but to bring about change. To bring about change for the improvement and betterment of the world. This is what the Prophet Muhammad did. He sat in the cave of Hira for 15 or 15 years, and then he moved out into the world to bring about change. You have that capacity. He was in a cave of darkness. You are now filled with knowledge and wisdom, and you have potential, you have resources, you have an environment, and you have an organization that is well prepared to utilize your skills for the propagation of Islam. So my dear sisters and brothers, I want to especially point out to you that there's a lot of this about this organization you can learn about. We will be giving you more information. We are broadcasting on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and we'll be having other social media sites already up where we'll be communicating with you. But I'd just like to let you know that as you go through life, there will be challenges. You'll be faced with certain challenges. They're not difficulties, they're not problems, they're just challenges. And you will need assistance to manage those challenges, and the best assistance you can get is from Allah, from God. We can offer you that assistance, and so I want you to know that we do have a special WhatsApp number that is there, and it's easy to remember. 316, you can write it in your notebook, you can write it on your program. 316 ILS, I-L-S, I-L-L-S. That is, I think it is 4557. So you can WhatsApp this number at any time, ask any question about Islam, give any particular question you want, any problem that you have, and we will respond to it or give you guidance and guidelines as to how to deal with it. So I want to again congratulate you, but before I close, I want to tell you that what you have seen here today, Roshni got a certificate for education, and others are there who contributed to today's function. But what was the success of today's function, and I'm sure you'll agree with me it's a success, was commitment and determination. You don't get certificates for that. That comes out of you. And so in your life ahead, remember that the certificate represents your study and your achievement. But there is something in you which may not be certified except by your Creator, by Allah, certifying that you are one who is committed, one who is dedicated, and one who will ensure that when I set up to do a task, I will follow it through until the end with the help of Allah. So I want you to take the example of the organizers. As pointed out, they are volunteers, but they put a lot of effort to make you happy here today so that we can give you that honor. Come forward and make your mark. First of all, in your Jamaat, in your home, and also in the Anjuman. Later on, you can also make your mark in the world. Let us pray. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. Oh Allah, we thank you for this day and the achievements of all these young people who have worked hard, and with your help they have achieved success in various ways. We ask you, Allah, to continue to guide them, to bring out all the good qualities in them, give them the experience and the leadership qualities that they may not only guide and lead their own lives but lead others as well. We pray, Allah, that all of us will lead ourselves to you, that we may find strength and empowerment in all the resources you can give us to achieve success in this life and in the life hereafter. O Allah, bless their parents, their teachers, and all who have contributed to their success, and raise from among us men and women who will be submissive to you, and help us to guard against all forms of wrongdoing, and to continue to do good in your path. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ameen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maulana. My dear sisters and brothers, I was just asked to for if there's anyone who would have any pictures of our events in the past, or any pictures of the mosque that are associated with the Ahmadiyya Anjuman. This is for the use in the commemorative brochure that we intend to publish in commemoration of our 50th anniversary. So if you all have any pictures, you can contact us with those, and we will be very appreciative of that. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Well. Good job,